when we talk about fathers, I just want to ask you, Nabil.
Yes.
Not being a father, but obviously you are a son.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously. To your father, how has your relationship been? How is the relationship between you and your dad?
Wow, the relationship between me and my dad. Well, it's fine. It's ongoing. I mean, alhamdulillah.
Ongoing.
You know,
Okay.
I'm very grateful because when you see, I mean, there are people that unfortunately do not have fathers. You know? So you got to be really appreciative of the fact that you do have a father, someone for you to talk to, someone to actually take care of you. And of course, he's wiser and he's older, so I always listen to him.
Exactly, and that's what we are bringing you guys today on the show. We want to give the highest salute to all the fathers out there. Hence why we have a father as well, apart from me, of course, another father in the studio where we're going to be having a chat. This is somewhat of a famous father. He's been around the block a lot. He's been on TV, he's been on radio, he is also an entrepreneur. Ladies and gents, no introduction else needed. JJ in the house.
What's up?
What's up, Jay?
How's everybody?
Everybody's good.
Okay, now I'm feeling like the guest and he's the host right now.
But
He just said one sentence, Mio. Come on, give him a chance.
Nabil, be honest.
Okay.
I know this for a fact. Even I went through it. Okay. Your relationship, your father was okay until 15. Then you drift apart and then you come back together. Correct?
I gotta say, because at one point our conversation was, semalam MU menang ke? MU menang. That's it.
No, it's normal. So all fathers don't panic when your teenage son suddenly like tak nak kawan with you, which I'm going through that stage right now. But I realized that eventually we get back together. You know, but it's the whole, you know, coming of age, and all guys want to prove that, like kita, you know, peacock lah, boom.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what I'm doing, Dad. You know what I mean? But eventually you realize the knowledge that your parents impart on you.
I love the fact that JJ is on the show, so he's asking questions to himself, so we don't really have that many questions. But
I don't want to shut up.
But one thing I do want to ask you, man. I mean, like you're very much in the same era as I am. You know, you've experienced, you know, having your kids at a very young age. You know, being babies, toddlers, and now your kids are coming to preteens, teenagers, right? So how has that evolution been for you as a father? Because I assume that you're like the cool dad at home.
No,
am I not?
No,
you're not.
You'll never be the cool dad. No matter how cool you are,
No.
you will never be.
You can be a cool dad.
Look at Brooklyn and Beckham.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brooklyn and David.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. David. Sorry, Beckham. You know, surname.
So their father is not cool.
So no, but Brooklyn don't think his father is cool at one stage. But now his father is cool again. But it's like that. It's a cycle that you go through. But no, my kids don't think I'm cool.
But I gotta say lah, for someone who, you know, has not been a father, obviously, I'm getting there, inshallah, one day.
Okay. Touch wood.
I gotta say, I gotta ask, because, you know, just getting married is that's a huge thing.
Yes.
But having your own children,
is the scariest
I
thing.
cannot even begin to imagine. What was it? Okay. How was your what did you feel when
the weird part I
It seemed like he was the doctor, right?
No, but I was there. I cut the umbilical cord. I was lucky enough to cut the umbilical cord. And if you all want to practice cutting umbilical cord, ambil sotong, roll up the sotong and then you potong.
I will do that at home.
That's exactly the feeling of cutting umbilical cord, if you all nak tahu, okay? But anyway, I believe, I pull this as, I say this as a joke most of the time, but I believe God is the first person who created OS update. Because you will not understand what is it like to be a father or whether you're ready to be a father until you hold your own child. When you hold, then suddenly OS is updating. And then only like, oh, aku faham.
Okay.
All right. And I remember after holding my son, after a while, you know, bonding, looking and all that, I passed my child back to my wife and I said, hold on a second, I got to do something. I called my parents and said, sorry. Because I understood what it meant when they, last time when you're 21, you know, doing your own thing and like, we were worried. I'm like, psh, aku dah tua, relax lah.
JJ, I gotta ask, when you said, aku faham, what did you understand?
I understood what the meaning of I was worried. You will never get that I was worried until you hold your own child. Because you will always be worried for that child. Because whatever happens to that kid is your responsibility. Even though, yes, after 18, they live their own life, but that will always be your responsibility.
Okay. Coming back to Father's Day, but before that, we do want to have a special thanks to Homemaker at Clovis and as well as Eldin's Cupcakes for these lovely spreads that we actually have in front of us. And these are all edible anyway.
Yes.
So Nabil, myself and JJ will be testing out these delicacies while we are actually having this chat. Coming back to Father's Day again, I mean...
Distracting me.
No, distracting you. Of course,
the smell.
Definitely...
You all don't understand. If you can smell it, it's like...
Too many sweet things in the studio. Leo.
Okay, coming back to being a father again, I am fortunate enough to also be a father, of two beautiful kids out there. I totally understand what you mean when you say that, fathers will never ever stop worrying when it comes to their child's welfare, when their child's conditions and whatnot. But how, like your experience, I know about my thing, but your experience, how do you manage that? How do you try not to look too worried, but be worried at the same time?
You learn from your father lah. You know
it's sakit hati kan when you hear that.
Yeah, no, but you understand why. Because if you're like, are you okay? Then suddenly you also like, hey, what's going on? You know what I mean? So the father's supposed to be like, the mother's supposed to be like, oh my God, something's wrong is happening. But the acting cool, I guess I'm acting cool like how my father used to act cool. It's hard because you're worried, but you cannot show that you're worried, and you cannot overdo it because you want them to, I know this is going to sound bad, but you want them to fall. Because the only way you learn is to fall.
That is true.
But you don't want them to fall. So it's a contradiction in your head. Like, jangan jatuh, tapi you kena jatuh. But like that lah. That's life.
You
Sorry, before that, I want to be a good host here. I just
boleh.
Oh, ya Allah. Jemput makan. Please.
Kalau tak malu makan.
That's a lie. I memang tak malu. But the thing is, I'm not going to makan because I know as soon as I masuk ni, then you're
we're going to ask you a question. Exactly, that's why.
You know what? Since that's the case, I'm going to murder a cupcake. This looks so beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. Back to the question. Because when we're talking about fatherhood, right? Because just now you said that you cannot, there's a border that you don't want to cross.
Yeah. You won't cross it until you get it.
But sometimes, no, I'm talking about how in terms of your relationship and emotions with your children, sometimes you cross that border where they really like, oh my God, father, why did you do this, right? What do you expect from them in order for the relationship to be better?
Oh, you see, I was lucky enough to have never censored my kids. So I never censored my kids. I never censored the internet. I never censored anything from my kids. I was lucky enough to grow up making my kids comfortable enough to even question me. So if I correct them in any way, they have the right to tell me, Dad, we need to talk. So when they throw that line, Dad, we need to talk, I just keep quiet. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
so Dad, I need to talk. I keep quiet and I listen to what they say. That's the rule. But I said, please, if I scold you and you think I did something wrong, give me 10 minutes because I'm still angry, okay? Don't expect me to switch off. So after 10 minutes, they have the right to say, Dad, we need to talk. I have to sit down and listen.
Okay.
I have to sit down and listen to what they have to say. And if whatever they're saying maybe is an off perspective, I clear that.
Okay.
And to a point, if like in the internet and stuff, I've never blocked them from the internet. I've always said, if you see something that you don't understand or you think is wrong, come talk to us and ask us any question. And we've answered every question.
Okay.
JJ, you're cool dad, JJ.
No, I'm not. To my son,
cool
it's like, Dad, shut up.
As what we saw on the screens earlier just now, beautiful kids. Your boy and girl, beautiful kids. But I just want to ask again, your preference as well as your style as a father. I have my own style again, and I just want to ask your opinion on this. How our parents treated us before. Again, it's different, right, from how we are supposed to treat our children now. Why do you think that?
Because of the Overton window. No, that's a very political term.
Okay.
But the Overton window is society's norms. So what society's norm is in a box. There are people on the left and there are people on the right.
Sure.
So the Overton window is the middle ground where the society is. And it tends to slowly move progressive. And it will move according to time. So our fathers lived in a time where that was how it was. And I bet you if you ask your parents about how their parents was, it's even worse.
Yeah.
So we slowly shift that and society shifts along and goes along with it.
So are you saying that it is not relevant anymore for you to treat your children how you were treated back then?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Because
it's because look, they know more than whatever we know. That's 100%. And if you want to govern them or guide them the old way, they were like, no, I've seen something else. Information is like that, they can find. So you cannot lie.
So I want to give him a chance to actually take a bite because again, he's been talking a lot.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So let's just have him to,
But this is so sedap.
Yeah, it is very nice. So again, being a father, like what JJ's mentioned, is definitely different of how, any individuals out there, how you treat them. Again, me being a father of two, how I treat my daughter and my newborn son is definitely very different from how my dad used to treat us when we were kids. And it is definitely something that you need to adapt to in time with the current technology and information that's out there. And it's definitely something that you need to evolve. It's like evolution. At the end of the day, you know, even cars, they evolve. You used to have only petrol cars and now we have electric cars. You know, that's actually, I guess, the similar analogy I can give to that.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And with you, I just want to ask you also again, being a celebrity, you are a celebrity, put it that way. I mean, you are.
I'll
You know,
accept
you
that.
work with TVs, you work with radios, and now you're an entrepreneur.
Yep.
How how are you dividing your time to make sure that you have time for your kids as well as being successful in what you do?
See, the weird part is I was lucky enough when I started my career on radio, all right? I was lucky enough that my shift is 6 in the morning, all right?
Before they wake up.
So before they wake up. So at 6, but then I had the privilege of picking them up from school from the time they were in kindergarten all the way.
Yeah.
I always pick, that's my job. I pick them and then I give my wife, I say, from this moment on, it's my turn. I'll take care, you just do whatever you need to do. Because you have to realize fathers are humans too.
Yep.
Before they are the fathers or anything, they are humans. A lot of fathers tend to forget that we are human beings, we have our own wants and needs. And sometimes our kids' wants and needs supersedes ours. And we're okay with that. But you still have to realize you have to give yourself moments to be yourself.
Sure.
All right? And how you divide your time is you cannot say, oh, I'm drawing up a schedule because life doesn't allow you to draw up schedules. But life allows you to be honest with your kids. So my kids understood back then I had more time to hang out with them. But now as an entrepreneur and now in my laundry and trying to find a worker to come work with me in my laundry, and it's tough. They understand that I have to take a lot of time. But they get to see me in the evening once I'm back. I try to spend time. But of course, when you're teenagers, the lesser time you spend with your parents is much cooler. Okay? So I'm lucky that they are in the teenage stage where they don't want to spend that much time with me and I've got to do a lot of work. So I'm like lucky. So.
But that reminds me, because recently there's this clash of ideologies, right? By the way, thank you so much, Elden Cupcakes. This is wonderful.
It's very nice.
Sorry, I had to do it.
No, it's so dark.
Yeah, so up. Yeah, there's this. Recently, I came across this ideology about childhood trauma.
Yes.
In which people say that how our parents treat us, that sometimes actually they give traumas to the younger people.
Yeah. 100%.
But that, for me, is a clash with the Asian ideologies of how we have to respect our parents no matter what.
Nah.
What is your opinion on that, JJ?
Your definition of trauma. So what's your definition of trauma? If your definition of trauma is using the lens of a foreigner, your definition of trauma is different. Our definition of trauma is slightly different. So I'm not saying what we're doing is wrong or right. It's our definition.
Sure.
So the context is very important when you want to look at that. So our trauma, last time it's not trauma. It's just you got slapped with your dad, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's like rite of passage, you know?
Yeah.
And back then, when if we get injured, like we fall down and get cut after riding bicycle, after parents say don't ride bicycle, you jatuh already berdarah, you don't show them. You don't go, drop. You hide it because like, alamak, I'm going to get scolding. But that's not trauma. That's just how it is. And I don't think it's trauma. It becomes trauma when you hold on to it and you start thinking over too much about it. Sure. Try to understand, because if you want to grow up as an adult, you want to be an adult and you say you got childhood trauma, fine. Then try and understand what your parents were going through at that moment when they did that.
Communication is key, isn't it?
Key. That's the key. You got to speak. So if you have the opportunity, if your parents are still alive, sit down and talk to them.
Yeah.
Talk about the past things that happened, why it happened, why is it like that, and it will help you.
Definitely. All right, we're running almost out of time, but
I'm
we
sorry.
do want to give... Yeah, again, when you're with JJ here, seriously, you always have to look at your walk.
Don't worry, JJ, you
know,
can
all the
bring
time.
some of these home.
You can
do
this
that.
up. But before we leave this segment, we do want to give you an opportunity, 20 seconds. I'm going to time you to speak to the camera, to wish to all the fathers out there,
Yes, please.
whoever it is. Yep, go.
Dads, I know it's a tough job. I know you're supposed to be the cool one, the macho one, and all that. But remember, it's okay to be vulnerable in front of your kids. Please allow yourself to be vulnerable in front of your kids because it helps them to understand that it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be... Don't be macho all the time. But dudes, whatever you're doing, you got this.
Lovely.
JJ.
Awesome
Father's Day.
stuff. Nabil definitely has learned a lot about this from
Yes,
both of
I'm
us.
taking notes from JJ. No, really, I'm loving your view of parenthood, JJ. I think it's modern, I think it's new, and I think it's beneficial.
Thanks to JJ. Thank you so much for coming on the show.